Hey y'all, so it is Monday, September 30th. I am outside currently waiting for my friend to get here. We're supposed to be having a ladies' night and she is late. This is my first time hanging out with her. This is actually one of the girls that I had told y'all about in that video that I posted, God is bringing new connections. So this is our first time hanging out, but we talk like every day. And so she's supposed to be here she like 30 minutes away. So I found myself getting aggravated about it, and I'm like talking to myself like, don't get aggravated. And I just realized that this was the moment for me to go ahead and record this word, because I was going to record it on my way here, but I didn't want to drive and be trying to hold my phone because I didn't know how long, I didn't know what all I was going to have me to say, and I just didn't want to be focused on the phone and the streets and everything else. So now that I'm parked, let's talk, let's chat. So and I actually was gonna do like a get ready with me and talk while I got myself together, but yeah, no, we didn't do that. So this is gonna be a word of encouragement for whoever needs this. It's a word of encouragement. I'm recording this because I needed this today. I needed a word of encouragement today, and I kind of felt a little away from God. And I knew he was talking to me, but I feel like maybe I was in my feelings so much so that I could not hear him. So like, you know, as I'm reading the Bible and stuff like that, and as I'm asking him questions, his word is just not penetrating my heart. I'm, you know, a little bit frustrated today. And so let's just be honest about it. I miss my best friend. I do. This is like my best friend in the whole wide world. So when something good is going on, he's the first to know. When something bad is going on, he's the first to know. And again, like, we're not beefing, so it's not like I got some anger to hold on to him. You know, like when you miss somebody, but you think about the last time they made you mad, and you just hold on to that, and that keep you from reaching out, or that keep you from talking to them and stuff like that. I don't have that. Like, I have had that. So the last time, the conversation that we had where he asked me for some space, that was on September 20th. So we have not talked since September 20th. And this is actually like my first time missing him since yesterday and today. So Sunday and Monday are my first times missing him. And the energy been so strong, it's been so on me, so strong, that I know that it's probably him as well. Like, probably him missing me, or probably him thinking about me, or thinking about the situation, whatever it may be. But I'm still not, you know, to reach out. And yesterday, God led me to John chapter 20, and what stood out to me was the verse where Mary is crying, and she says she's looking for Jesus, and Jesus reveals himself to her, and she's like, Rabbi, and he's like, don't cling to me because I have not ascended yet. And that stood out to me, but I was like, are you telling me to like let him go completely, like not deal with him? Like, you know I'm dating and stuff like that, but is that what you're saying? Because if that's what you're saying, I'm about to be so mad. And let me just say this, because, and this is another thing that I want to be honest about. A lot of people will ask you, if God never does anything else for you again, will you be happy? If God doesn't give you that promise, will you be happy? I had a real conversation with God about it. Will I be happy that souls were saved? Absolutely. And he know that in my heart. I will be happy that people got to know God through me. I will be happy that something that I said or something that I experienced got somebody into a relationship with God. Excuse me. Got somebody into a relationship with God. Even if it does that for my best friend, if it gets him into a relationship with God, I will be... There are no words. There are no words. Because he's the person who brought me to God. How he loved his family and his friends, and how he loved me unconditionally, that love made me curious about God. So if I can in turn, and I've always said, I wanted to be for him what he was for me. So God revealed to me that he was like Boaz. Like, when we became friends, we didn't know any of the stuff that took place was going to take place. We just did not know that. So we didn't know that we had this promise on us. We didn't know that we was going to go through this healing journey. Like, when we linked. And not to mention, our first day ever meeting in person was September 26, 2020. So And we chatted on Twitter before then. But so we hit it off. And he said that he's like, I never had so much in common with one woman. Like, it's just crazy. We felt locked in. We did not know all of this healing stuff. I did not know that being friends with him was going to cause me to have to uproot a lot of the things that I was taught or that I felt from my childhood and upwards. We did not know that. And so it's compared to the story of Ruth and Boaz. When Ruth started working in that field, she had no idea she was working in Boaz's field. She just worked. And in that field was provision. Boaz made sure she was taken care of. He made sure she had what she needed. He made sure nobody bothered her. He protected her. He provided for her. And that's who my best friend has been for me. Through my growth, he gave me the space to be who I needed to be. He did not make me into who he thought I should be. He did not make me into who he wanted me to be or who the other people around him was. He simply allowed me to grow at my own pace. And I always wanted to be that for him, because when God gave me the promise of us being married, I did not let that man live. Like, why you dating that girl? We finna get married. Why are you doing a lot of stuff that my husband would never do? Like, it was a lot of that. I threw a lot of that at him. So I didn't give him the space to grow into the man he needed to grow. And in actuality, I probably took him further away from God. Because again, how we look at Christians who are in the church. How you a woman of God or a man of God, but you cheating on your wife, but you beating your wife, but you beating your kids, but you talking about people, but you gossiping, but you talking down on people and you judging people. And so how are you supposed to be a woman or a man of God? And that drives believers away from the church. That drives new followers away from the church and from God. Because how can you be all of that and then act like that? So I'm pretty sure that could be what he felt, and I think it drove him further away from God. So I couldn't be that for him then, but I always wanted to be able to gift that back to him, because like I said in my last video, there's nobody who has been graced to deal with me the way that he has. And I tell him all the time, the woman that I am today is largely a part of him. And how he allowed God to use him, and how he had the patience and the grace and the understanding to deal with me and my brokenness. The woman that y'all are talking to, listen, we thank God and we acknowledge God, and we acknowledge God using him. Because I didn't have that type of person around me. He's the first person who ever showed me unconditional love. That man ain't never wanted sex from me. He ain't never wanted money from me. He ain't never wanted me to trick off on him. Like, he ain't never wanted none of that. He genuinely loved me for who I was, no matter what I was being, no matter what version of myself I was. He genuinely loved me. He was the first person who showed me that, family and non-family, because my family don't know what unconditional love is. So, you know, I always wanted to be able to give that back to him, because it was such an amazing thing. And so, where was I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that, y'all. But anyway, so, you know, in the Bible verse, hopefully I come back around to it, but in the Bible verse, it says, don't cling to me because I haven't ascended yet. And so I thought God was telling me to let him go. So I'm like, all right, whatever. If I gotta let him go, I gotta let him go. And again, I'll be honest with God, like, I'm no different from that woman who Elijah stayed with. And she provided for Elijah. She took care of him. And he came and told her, next year this time, you're going to have a son. That lady didn't ask for no son. So, and when the son died, what did she say? She said, you told me that I was going to have this son. I didn't ask for this son. And then the son dies. And Elijah breathed life back into him. But I'm no different from that lady. I didn't ask God to be married. I didn't even want to be married when God gave me the promise of marriage. I didn't want marriage. I didn't want to be married to him. So I absolutely would be upset if it never happened. Because this is something that you told me that I didn't want. This is not one of those things where God has given me everything and Lord, you ain't even got to add nothing else. Or this is not one of those things where, Lord, I asked you for this job and you didn't give it to me. This is I ain't asked you for that. Why you told me you was going to give me that if you wasn't going to give it to me? So, yeah, let me give you some honesty. If it never happened, I would accept it. I would learn to live with it, but I would be highly upset. I would be highly hurt. So when he told me to don't cling tight and because he hadn't ascended yet, I was like, all right, well, I'll just let it go then. But I had an attitude about it. And then today when I was reading in Matthew chapter 23, God gave me the verse, I think it was 26, where he was telling the Pharisees that they needed to wash the inside of the cup. They're looking at the outside and they're thinking that they're presentable on the outside, but you got to wash the inside of the cup just like you got to wash the outside, because when the inside is clean, then the outside will be clean. And God was ministering to me that he still had to be clean. On paper, my best friend looks like the best man you will ever meet. He looks like everything. He's every woman's dream girl. He's handsome, he's tall, light skin with locks, good personality. He treats every woman with love and respect. He values everybody. He's respectful to everybody. He bout his money. Like, he treat everybody how they supposed to be treated. He's not out here being crazy or nothing like that. However, and the same thing that I said in the last video, he is not in submission to God. Last time I checked, he was not in submission to God. So he's not the man for me. And so God is saying he got to do that internal work. He got to do it. That is the only way. And I want to give him that. Why? Because, y'all, that man don't know who he is in God. And I'm going to tell you that based off what I know, who God has told me he is. There's no way. God be revealing stuff to this us women. I bet he don't even remember the things that I've spoken over his life. How he was gonna he has a mobile bartending business. He wants to be a bartender. He wants to own a business. I done told him I had a dream of the name of the bar, the name of it. I told him the name. I told him he was going to have multiple businesses and they were going to be in multiple states. I told him somebody from South Dakota was going to contact him about wanting a business deal. This was all in 2021, 2022. I'm just talking. I don't identify as a prophet or anything like that, but I just be speaking. And a lot of the stuff that I say done came true. So I bet he don't even remember those things that I've spoken over him about his business deals. And how he's going to be a millionaire and how he's going to be this. And he thinking that his plan or his way is the best way for him to get there. And it's like, no. God got something better for you. God, get in God's presence because he got something for you. He's not there yet. And so until he is as clean on the inside as he is on the outside, he cannot have me. He cannot. And that's a hurtful thing because I see the potential. I see him through the eyes that God gives me to see him. I know he's not a perfect person, but God calls for the woman to honor and respect her husband. And so I respect him even when parts of me don't feel like he's worthy of respect, because God has shifted how I see things. God has shifted how situations arise and how I react to them. So I see him differently. I don't see him as a flawed person. I see him as a man who's being led and covered by God. So I see things about him. I know things about him. And I know he ain't in a place where he see himself like God sees him. And it take you a long time to do that, because I'm going to tell you, I'm the bomb diggity. I'm the bomb.com. And I only see myself like that because God sees me like that. This is coming from a woman who had low self-esteem growing up. This is coming from a woman who did not know her worth and was dealing with all different type of stuff just to say she had a man around her. Was dealing with abusive relationships. My son's father raised a gun at me before I even got pregnant. How on earth did I still get pregnant by that man? I don't know. I done had a man choke me out before, and I still was trying to be with him. I done had a man punch me in my face before, and I still was trying. It took me 3 years to stop dealing with him. This is coming from a woman who done dealt with all these different type of men. And her self-worth was so low how she felt about herself was so low. Baby, I'm the bomb. Listen. I don't need to exalt myself. I don't need to boost myself up, but I see myself the way that God sees me. I done been through some stuff, and I'm only finna be 30 in December. But I done been through some stuff that some grown women ain't even faced yet. I accept everything because I feel like I put myself in it trying to be grown. But, you know, I feel who I am about myself, and I feel what I feel about my businesses and the things that God is going to do in my life because of what God has showed me about myself, how he revealed my identity to me, how he told me who I was. And so my best friend has to know who he is in God. And one thing about it, when you know who you are in God, there's nothing that nobody could tell you wrong. If God ain't told me it's wrong, I ain't wrong. He'll let me know. One thing about me, that man get on me swiftly. So fast, sometimes I think he don't even like me, because ain't no way you seen that person do what they did to me and you want me to go apologize. Sometimes he made me think I don't belong to him, how he correct me. But I know he loves me, and I know he cares about me, and I know he sees me as this perfect person that he created. Even with all my flaws, I am perfectly made. He calls me perfectly made. And in order for God's kingdom with me involved, in order for it to work in that way, my best friend has to see himself that way as well, right? So he's in that process. He has to do some healing. He has to do some internal work. He has to let God give him that heart surgery and cut him open and heal him back together and stuff like that. So I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm cool. And it's a lot. And honestly, like, I be trying to, I told y'all I was dating. Yeah, it's like diarrhea in the dating pool. What is that? Is that fentanyl? It's fentanyl in the dating pool. Like, why y'all act like that? Y'all, listen, I can't. I had one guy that I actually liked, and I would have allowed him to pursue me. I say allowed because I'm not pursuing no man. I don't do that. He didn't understand boundaries. When I established a boundary with him, he started calling me masculine. He started calling me gangster. Started calling me mobster. Now, y'all hear how I talk. I am from up north. I am from New York. I could be a little rough around the edges, right? But God has made me a soft girl, so I don't try to be like that. So while I can be a forceful person, I don't want to be that. I don't want to have to raise my voice at a man, or, you know, to feel heard. I want you to listen to me as I'm speaking to you. So the thing, it was something as simple as, I don't watch sports. Oh, my family is real big on sports. I'm gonna get you to watch sports. We're gonna watch sports. And then after that, if you don't like it, then we won't watch no more. I don't like sports. I don't find it anything that I need to watch. I think I could change your mind. And he kept doing that. And so I finally said this to him, because I had just blocked somebody else for not respecting the boundary with what I said. I said, I'm gonna say this just, you know, since I'm already on the road with establishing my boundaries. I don't want to watch sports. I think there are a lot of more productive things that we could talk about. I don't want to watch sports. I would like for you to not ask me to watch sports no more. Should we be in a bar together and something happens and I see everybody in an uproar and I ask you a question, please feel free to explain it. You don't got to be like, nah, you say you don't want to hear about it no more. But until that time comes, there are other productive things that we can talk about. And I need you to listen to me and hear me when I say that. Well, I just thought that, you know, you ain't really have no reason for why you ain't want to watch it. Like, I ain't know if it was like a bad thing or not. I don't have to have PTSD about sports for me to not want to watch it. If I say I don't want to watch it, that's just what the situation is. I don't have to have PTSD about it. It don't have to be a traumatic experience for me. I don't want to watch it. Simple as that. And that's what I've been learning. A lot of people don't respect boundaries because they think it's some type of trauma attached to it. Or if it's not some type of trauma attached to it, then it's not a real boundary. Nah, what I said is what I said. And I shouldn't have to repeat myself. And that's one thing that I'm learning that I don't like. A man who don't listen to me If I'm telling you I don't like that and you keep going with it, you're not the person for me. But I continue trying to talk to him. So we had a date last Thursday. I canceled the date last Thursday because I was just like, you just don't respect boundaries. Because then again, he kept calling me mobster and gangster and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not a gangster. I'm not a mobster. Like, I'm a delicate flower. Like, I'm not a mobster. But he kept calling me that and he kept going on with it. And I'm like, listen, if you think I'm a mobster or a gangster in any type of way, I want you to understand I'm actually a very soft woman, like soft, cuddly, crybaby type woman. And if I'm acting harsh with you in any type of way, I would encourage you to check how you are with me, because when I'm in the presence of a man, I don't act like that. So if I'm masculine in any type of way, you have caused me to be on the defense. But in all honesty, I'm not even being masculine. I'm establishing a boundary with you. Why are you thinking that that makes me masculine? Because I'm telling you, this is not what I want. I don't want to talk about sports. I don't want you calling me a mobster or a gangster. Now I'm masculine because I'm establishing a boundary? So I canceled the date with him. Like, no. But then when my best friend decided he didn't want to talk to me no more, I had called him back because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need some help getting over this. That wasn't right. Chill. Y'all chill with me. So, we kept talking. And he kept bringing it up, y'all. He kept calling me a mobster. He kept calling me a gangster. He kept on with all the other stuff. And I finally just, yeah, you still not listening to what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I don't like being called that. You still not listening to me. You still doing what you want to do. Well, I'm just a joker. I just be joking and stuff like that. But it's, and if I stop joking, like, that's such a huge part of my personality. Like, bro, I'm goofy as I don't know what. Like, I'm telling you to stop making a certain kind of joke. I ain't tell you to stop joking. I ain't tell you to stop laughing and doing all that. I'm telling you, stop calling me a mobster, because I'm not masculine. And I don't want to be identified as masculine or gangster or mobster or anything. I'm not no mob queen. I'm not out here being like that. Yo, I got to go in a minute because my friend is here. But, yeah, so I had to, like, I haven't talked to him in a couple days. We're not supposed to talk. God told me not to talk to him no more anyways. But it's just like, yeah, like, it's drugs in the dating pool. Like, this is disgusting. I need him to hurry up and do what he got to do. Because I don't deserve this at all. I don't deserve this. But yeah, y'all, so I gotta go because she calling me. But yeah, that's just a note, y'all. Trust God. Trust whatever God is doing in your life. Let him move at the pace that he needs to move. You just be prepared to move when he moves you. That's the only thing that I can say. Trust. I miss my best friend, but my best friend got to go through what he got to go through, and I don't want to interfere with that. I've interfered with it enough. I need to give him the space to grow. This is our Ruth and Boaz thing. I am now Boaz. He is now Ruth, so I'm letting him do that. So trust God and allow God to lead you, and allow God to lead you in your situation. Y'all be blessed. So you guys, I'm leaving my girls' night with my friend, and we had a ball. But as I got back in the car, it just hit me also the ending of my message where I was saying, like, you know, just trust God and allow God to lead you and move you, and you just be prepared to move when he wants you to move. And I think about how, you know, I opened myself back up to dating, knowing that that really wasn't something that God wanted me to do. He did not sign off on nobody that I dated. That's why every guy that I was talking to, and it was quite a bit, because I'm gonna be honest, like, after I got the text, so I already was like making conversation with men before my best friend sent me that text. But afterwards, it was kind of like, yeah, I was very intentional about trying to move forward from him, because like, I don't, you know, I'm not no ugly person. And not only that, but I have a beautiful spirit. I'm a praying woman. I'm a woman who loves to serve. I'm a woman who, you know, I have all these amazing qualities that I know I have these amazing qualities. And so nobody could ever slight me regarding the woman that I am. You know, if you feel like I'm like a bad type of woman or whatever, I'm just not the woman for you. But there's nobody who can get me to talk down on myself. And so I think about how I open myself back up to dating and stuff like that. But in all honesty, when God moves that man closer to me, I can't have all those different distractions. I can't be trying to let guys off the hook when he comes back to me. Like, I pretty much have to have a clean space for him to reside in. And that takes me back to yesterday, where God just kept sending me messages in numbers about living somewhere and dwelling somewhere. And one of the scriptures he gave me was in Leviticus chapter 17, I think, or 15, where Aaron's sons were dead, or God killed them because they burnt the coal, or they burnt the sacrifice for the altar the wrong way. And God asked for their bodies to be removed from the entrance of the temple. And in that, God was speaking to me how, when that man comes back, there can't be no distractions with these other men. And one thing that I love God for is that, as much as I may try to take dating or my romantic life into my own hands, God, if it's not for him, he ain't gonna let it last, because those men gets to get on my nerves so bad, y'all. They get on my nerves so bad. In this last guy, God kept showing me the number like 515, which in the Strong's Greek Concordance means to deem worthy. And I remember listening to a message, and God was just like, and the person was just like, don't condemn yourself for things that you've done, or don't condemn yourself. God has forgiven you. And in that message, God spoke to me, you don't think you worthy? Like, there was a point in time that you would never deal with the stuff that you're dealing with this man. You having to argue with him, or defend yourself, or defend your place as a woman and stuff like that. Do you not feel like you're worthy anymore? Because you would never do that. Like 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago, 3 months ago, you would never continue entertaining somebody who brought you out of character like that. You're saying that you want to be treated like a delicate flower. You're saying that you want to be, that you are this woman, and you want a man who approaches you and treats you like this woman. And this man is not even doing that for you. This man is causing you to be argumentative strictly just because you're having to defend certain boundaries that you have. Do you not feel like you're worthy of what I told you that you was going to have? Do you not feel like you're worthy of what you feel like you are, or worthy of what you feel like you deserve? Because why on earth would you even be entertaining this man knowing that that's not, God had to get me together with that. And I'm like, dang, like, I can't even use a little man as a distraction. No, because, and this is something that I want to talk to us ladies about, because there's too many times that we entertain men who are not for us. And even fellas, we entertain women who are not for us. We know they're not for us, but we just think we're passing time away. We just think that we're getting a little distraction until we get the person that we want, or we get to the place that we want. Listen, who you deal with and who you continue to entertain, they are a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. And so even if you feel like you're just bored, what you're saying to yourself is that you are inadequate, that you are not worthy of receiving what it is that you're wanting. Because if you felt like you was worthy of receiving it, you would wait for it. And you would leave yourself alone, and you would leave that situation alone until you got what you wanted. You would not settle, because that's essentially what it is. When you're distracting yourself with certain people or certain things, you are settling. That is not what you really want. So wait for God. And this just takes me back to my message. Trust God, and trust that he is leading you and moving you in a way that you should go. Wait on him. And this is a message to myself, and I know he's talking to me right now because of course I've continued entertaining men. I haven't continued entertaining that man, but yeah, there's been a line. There was a line of them. When I opened that gate, they all came rushing in. So yeah, it was a line of men who was waiting to be entertained. And while I have not picked up every single man that wanted to be entertained, I've picked up quite a couple. Some of them have great conversations. Some of them is kind of like, yeah, this is going to be our last time talking. And either way, God is saying, no matter if it's great conversation or not, deem yourself worthy. Look at yourself as worthy. Look at yourself as how I look at you. And understand you don't have to settle for none of these men, because what I'm bringing you, what I'm going to do for you, where I'm taking you, it's not going to be no question about your position. It's not going to be no question about your role. It's not going to be no question about where you at and who you with. So why not wait on that? Why settle in the meantime? Even though it's just in the meantime, because, I sometimes interact, sometimes while I might try to like run from what God has told me to do. Sometimes I know, yeah, this is not gonna last past 2 months. Like the one guy that I dated, he was like, when we go out, they gonna be looking at us like, dang, they look good. And I'm like, sir, in the next 2 months, you ain't even gonna know me. Like, I'm saying this in my head, like I'm knowing this already. So if I know that, why am I wasting my time with this man? I'm holding myself up. And y'all want to know what really solidified, like, I'm not supposed to be dealing with him? God gave me a dream where I was laid up with a man that I only know him on social media. He's not somebody that I know. But I know him on social media, and I know he has a wife. And immediately when I woke up, I was like, God, why am I laid up with this man? And I know he got a wife. Like, we ain't doing that now. And God was telling me, that man the man that you continuing to entertain, that is not, that you're not even really interested in, that's somebody else's husband. Let him go. Stop talking to him. He's not nothing to you. And guess what? That was that I had not spoken to him since I had that dream. God let me know that I was being an adulterer if I continued talking to that man, even though he was just going to be a distraction. Even though nothing serious was going to come out of it. But I was being an adulterer because he belonged to somebody else. So, you know, you guys, you just got to trust God in what he's doing and how he does things. And even the timing, there's a reason why I'm not with the person he said I'm supposed to be with. There's a reason. I may not understand it. And again, sometimes I get real confused because I see this man through the eyes of God. So I'm like, God, he's already there. Like, he don't need no work. He's already there. That's because God is allowing me to see him that way. But when God lifts his grace off of me, I can see the reality. And the reality is that man is not ready. So, yeah, y'all, this is more so just like I don't want to say a venting type session, but again, I just wanted to encourage people to just trust in God and wait on him and wait in his timing and just allow him to do what he's doing, because we don't know the ins and outs. And if God trusts you, God will most definitely reveal secret things to you. He will most definitely reveal certain aspects of your journey and will let you in on, like, yeah, see, daughter, yeah, see, son, this is why this can't happen, because this is what's going on over here, and I'm trying to block that. If he trusts you, but he has to trust you. God has to trust you in order to reveal those certain things to you. But until he trusts you, and even after he trusts you, I'm encouraging y'all to trust him, to continue trusting him as he guides you. It is a marathon, not a race. And my son, who is so competitive, he likes to race me with everything, and sometimes I tell him slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady. Because one time he raced me putting his clothes on, he forgot to put his drawers on, and I went ahead and let him get all the way dressed. And then I said, what's that right there on the floor? And he seen it, and he said, hold on, let me see if I got mine on. Nope, you don't. Take them shorts off and put these on. Slow and steady wins the race. So just trust God and allow God to do what he's doing. And in the meantime, you do what he's telling you to do. And, you know, you guys, I just think it's so funny also because the last little messages that I've put out, the short messages, they've all talked about obedience. I definitely believe God was preparing me for this move. That thing say the wait is over, meet flame. The wait is over, meet flame. All right, Lord. But I think it's funny how all my messages have been talking about obedience. And God is just reminding us that obedience don't have nothing to do with the outcome. It don't have nothing to do with the promise. It don't have nothing to do with nothing other than what he said and you being a willing vessel and doing it. But trust God, y'all. Trust God. Wait on his timing. Wait on what he's wanting you to do. And yeah, life will get greater. life will get greater for you if you just wait on God and don't walk into your own heartache. Don't walk into your own stuff. I'm talking to myself, because me with that dating stuff, that man aggravated me so bad one day. So bad, I had got a tension headache. Because I'm arguing with him about who I am. And I'm, instead of just not talking to him, I'm arguing with him about me, knowing that next month he's not even gonna matter. What? Girl, are you crazy? You are wild. So yeah, trust God. Just let stuff go. Be in alignment with his will. Be in his presence, and just let him lead you in the way that you should go. And keep your space clean. Keep your space clean, so that when God moves you, or when God moves you, there's no blockage. You're not tripping over stuff because you ain't got stuff in the way. And when God moves somebody towards you, they not tripping over stuff because there's not no blockage. Keep a clean space so the transition can happen smoothly. Keep a clean space, you guys. Trust God. Let God do what he's doing.